His skin is white just like a ghost, thick Irish roots and his blonde hair. And he sounds like a Chicago superfan, a music nerd with a collection of CDs from here to there. Yes, Andy Dare is in Chicago, interviewing and barbecuing. It's the Andy Dare Show. It's the Andy Dare Show.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out the Andy Dare Show. This is episode 78, and I'm joined by a really cool dude. His name is Jay Porks. He is the social media guy for the Meat Puppets, and he's also a frequent contributor to ConcertConfessions.com, which is a really cool site if you like going out, if you like seeing shows, real deal rock and roll shows, none of this teeny bopper stuff. It's a cool site, ConcertConfessions.com, and he's a good writer. He reports on the shows, takes film, cuts it up into pictures, and for the Meat Puppets, he pretty much just maintains all their pages. Just trying to extol the virtues of one of America's finest kind of underground bands. I mean, they've been above ground too, but, they're a really awesome group. I got to speak with Chris Kirkwood last year, and it was an awesome conversation. I believe that was episode 51 of my show, and since then, and since seeing them live a couple years back, my mind's been blown by the Meat Puppets. If you like American music that, involves punk, it involves country, it involves bluegrass, it involves hardcore, it involves a whole bunch of stuff, but also great musicianship, which is hardly or very much missing in music nowadays. These guys can play, and Meat Puppets are a great band. We get word that they have a new album coming out and a whole bunch of good stuff in the meat of the conversation. But before we get into that, I'd like to talk about my awesome sponsors for this episode. First up, we have Uncle Bub's award-winning barbecue. It's been about a year since they've been sponsoring. I want to thank Mark and the whole company for sponsoring the last year of the Andy Dare Show. And, it's a real deal barbecue joint, straight up, 25 minutes outside of the city of Chicago in the western suburb of Westmont, Illinois. They're also a full-service catering company. They'll come to your party. They'll put on a pig roast, a luau, a wedding even. They'll cater a company picnic. Give them a call. They're booking up fast for the summer, even back now in February. They are booking up quick. So I'd give them a call. It is 630-493-9000 if you want the real deal barbecue to show up at your party and make sure the party goes out without a hitch. That's Uncle Bub's award-winning barbecue. If you're in the Westmont area, check us out. It's 132 South Cass in Westmont, Illinois. And if you have any further questions, give them a call or check them out on the internet. That's UncleBubs.com. And by Secondhand Mall. Also been about a year since they've been sponsoring. I want to thank them so much. Real cool store. If you know my show, you know about Remember When Records. I've been going there for the last 28 years. And late 2011, the owner, Hank, retired and sold off all the inventory to Secondhand Mall. So they have a humongous vinyl selection. I know the kids are starting to get back into vinyl. So you could do yourself a favor and check out Secondhand Mall. Record Utopia is the record part of Secondhand Mall, and it's run by a nice guy named Dan. And he's a real knowledgeable guy. He'll answer any questions that you have. He's kind of like Hank in training, And really cool store. They're located in Westmont as well. I'm keeping my sponsors local, as I've told you before. Located at 309 West Ogden Avenue. Give them a call. They buy, sell, trade. If you're looking to turn that box of CDs that's just taking up room in your attic, why not take it to Secondhand Mall and get some cash for it? That's 630-810-9980. Tell them the Andy Dare Show sent you for specials and offers, and you can check them out on the web at secondhandmall.com, a.k.a. 2ndhandmall.com. And by a little mom-and-pop shop called Amazon.com. Yes, we are now an Amazon affiliate. If you want to sponsor or support my little show, The Andy Dare Show, why not go to theandydareshow.com, check on the right-hand side of the page, and click through our Amazon banner. You spend about 2 extra seconds. You spend 0 extra cents on anything, any purchase you make at the Amazon store. And it could be anything. We've had CDs, we've had iPods, we've had all sorts of stuff. We've had clothing, sunglasses. It's really a one-stop shop, this Amazon.com. And I've had word that Best Buy could be going under, closing up shops. All these places are shutting down their doors. So why not just shop at the comfort of your own home and click through the Andy Dare Show banner if you like this content that we've been bringing to you each and every week of the year. And it means a lot to me to see all the responses and everybody, not spending any extra money but supporting our show and giving a nod and a wink to the Andy Dare Show. It means a lot to us. All right, that about does it for the sponsors for the show. Thank you for listening to the sponsors and not fast forwarding. I appreciate it. This is episode 78. What a long, strange trip it's been on the Andy Dare Show, and I just love all the new listeners, all the new likes on the Facebook pages, new followers. We got a couple kids working for us that are spreading the word on the social media, so I can just work on bringing you the good content. We have a Twitter for Andy Dare Show fans in Asia. That's at Andy Darer Asia. And also our show page, that's at Andy Darer Show. And if you want to tweet me something, I love talking back and forth with you guys. Love hearing your top 5 lists, and love hearing what you thought about my last episode. Had a bunch of good responses about the Steve Fisk episode. I have nothing but respect and love in my heart for the whole underground, independent, alternative, whatever you call it, type of music. And, SST, Sub Pop Records, K Records, it gets no better. And it was an awesome time to chat with Steve Fisk. And, it's a day I'll never forget. And you can find that on our last episode. This episode is with Jay Porks, a guy working for the Meat Puppets. And if you never heard the Meat Puppets, please do yourself a favor and check them out. What else we got on the docket? Thank you to anybody who has purchased our album. It's an MP3 album. CDs are going the way of the dodo, unfortunately. So I decided to release an MP3 album last November, and we've been getting a lot of good sales, a lot of good feedback. It's bits from the show. It's acoustic recordings by me, and me calling into other shows like For Crying Out Loud, There Will Be Spoilers. As you know, I'm a big Adam Carolla fanatic, so anything that I can do with the people in that world, I will do it easily at the drop of a dime. They're all such nice people. Anybody that I've had on the show, I consider a friend, and I stay loyal to all my friends. So it's called Transmissions from the Honeycomb Hideout. You can find it at our Bandcamp page, which is andydareshow.bandcamp.com. You can listen to the audio, and you can purchase the album for $5 and help us keep the lights on here at the Honeycomb Hideout Studios in gorgeous Westmont, Illinois. All right, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my episode 78 interview with Jay Porks.
Yo.
Jay Porks, how's it going, man? You're on the Andy Dare Show.
Hey, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. How are things over in the Big Apple?
Everything's going good over here. It's a little cold, a little damp, but we're living. We're living.
Yeah, we hardly got any snow this whole winter in Chicago, and actually it is like 59 degrees right now. I'm not complaining over here. So.
Oh, you lucky guy, you.
Nice. So Jay Porks, you're a social media guy for the Meat Puppets. You're also, a blogger and concert goer, and you share all your concert experiences on what is it? Concertconfessional.com. What is it?
Concertconfessions.com. It's live music news and reviews for fans by fans.
Nice. And how'd you end up meeting up with the guys from the Meat Puppets, if you mind?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, here's what happened. Well, I always go to shows, I always write reviews, and I always share them on ConcertConfessions.com. And a couple of years ago, when the Meat Puppets came around again, and I saw them for my first of my 9 times so far that I've seen them,
Nice.
Like, I would get to talking to them, and, it was back on MySpace, and we'd be emailing and stuff, and, nothing major, just, when you guys come back to town, this and that, trying to get, like, news before everyone else did. And then a couple of months ago, they asked me if I wanted to, the manager asked me if I wanted to help them out with, help them with their Twitter, help them with their Facebook, and the tour page on their website. Just,
Nice.
Kind of volunteer work, but, I want to go to shows anyway. I want to see them when they come around, so this is just like, it's me being basically closer and easier to find out when I'm going to see my favorite band.
Awesome. Having your cake and eating it too. And, I think that's about the time when we started talking. I got to see them on the Lollipop tour, I think late 2011. And, it was pretty mind-blowing seeing these guys, around the age of 50, still bringing it with the passion of like a 20-year-old group, a 20-something group.
It's something else. I take people to see them, and they're like, oh, my God. Like, I didn't know. And I'm like, listen, I told you that you got to be ready for this mind-blowing experience we're about to have. I always tell everyone it's like, I've never taken acid, but I'm sure that what I feel after I see the Meat Puppets is pretty close.
Yeah, we were expecting them to be sitting down like on stools, thinking
no,
back.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And, how about any concerts that you've recently attended?
Well, I just saw Soundgarden about a week or two ago at the lovely Hammerstein Ballroom here in Manhattan. And
how's that?
It was exciting. It was great. It was good to see Soundgarden. I'd seen Soundgarden in 2010 in Washington State.
Nice.
I went out there to hang out with some friends from ConcertConfessions.com, and we actually saw Soundgarden, Queens of the Stone Age, the Meat Puppets, and Mastodon.
Whoa,
same
nice.
show, and it was really like something else. So when I had the chance to see Soundgarden inside, I had to go.
Yeah, so where'd you end up seeing them? Did you see them in Seattle? Like 10
I
or
saw
2
them
years ago?
it was George, Washington. It was at the Gorge Amphitheater.
Oh, okay.
In George, Washington, Quincy, but Eastern Washington.
Nice.
Like on the border of Idaho. We didn't get close enough to Seattle. I wanted to go to Seattle. We're like 5 hours away. I'm like, oh man.
That's I got to see Aberdeen about a year and a half ago, and last week I just spoke with Steve Fisk, producer engineer guy, and he's worked on stuff on Sub Pop, K Records, and SST Records. And yeah, he actually got to produce Soundgarden's first thing, the FOPP and the Screaming Love disc.
Yeah, I was listening to that interview, and I was like enthralled. I was like, wow, I don't believe that they're talking about this much music I know. I felt like I know one thing they mentioned. I'm like, wow, I know this whole guy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what you can do, through social media nowadays, who you can talk to, what doors are available to be opened by you just so easily nowadays, it seems. You still got to put in a lot of work. It's not like I'm just sitting on my ass. But at the same time, it's a lot easier than I'd say 10 years ago trying to do your own show,
Oh, 100%. You don't have to write letters and
Hell
telephone
no.
people,
I remember like the first thing I did
phone.
like that was the Weezer. I got into their Blue album in like 94, 95, and I send a self-addressed stamped envelope. And they sent me it was a handwritten thing, but it was Xerox, but it was still handwritten. Their whole like a catalog thing from their their fan site, and it was cool seeing like a handwritten thing. I still got that somewhere, seeing if I can maybe sell that on eBay or something. But yeah, it was a good early memory. I don't think I want to sell that.
Wow, that's really cool. I've seen Weezer 3 times.
Yeah, I saw them back in the day, and then after Green Album, and then I don't know. I've kind of lost my, all my lust for Weezer. They just they're trying to go a little too pop, but I still have respect, for just like the weirdness that is Rivers Cuomo kind of.
Yeah, he's pretty kooky, that guy.
Yeah, and how did you feel about the new Soundgarden album? I actually really dug it. I don't think it got pushed in the enough by their company. You can't really expect the companies to push music too much in 2013, but I think it definitely was it lived up to the promise for me at least.
Yeah, it was really good. Like usually when new bands come out with not new bands, but older bands, when like Alice in Chains came out with an album, Smashing Pumpkins came out with an album, and Soundgarden came out with an album. Usually with those bands, I'm like, all right, just please be close to what I kind of want to hear. Don't do Radiohead where it's voices in the mist, trees rustling in the wind. Can you just to hear Soundgarden it actually sounds like I don't want to say the same as what they used to, but it's like just as heavy, just as hard, just as more. Exactly, it hit me in all the right places, exactly where I needed to be hit.
Yeah, it felt like it could be like a continuation of Down on the Upside, you know,
Yeah,
if he didn't
exactly
do the
what
audio
it was
slave.
like, wow, okay, yeah, exactly, right.
And I just heard
That's what
that
it sounded like.
they just released a video directed by Dave Grohl, and I haven't caught it yet, but
Steps, yeah, they're riding segways in the video or
really,
something. Yeah, I hear it's pretty humorous. I meant to click on it and like watch it, but
yeah, I just saw it today, and I just got home, so I'll be watching that tonight. But
Dave Grohl's everywhere this year. Dave Grohl's doing everything. He's directing videos, drumming on Ghost's album, Ghost cover of ABBA. He's directing Sound City documentaries.
jamming with Paul McCartney, yeah.
Jamming with Paul McCartney at 12-12-12, man.
I feel like he woke up like 6 months ago and just realized, hey, I'm the drummer for Nirvana. Why aren't I not using all this clout to my advantage and, you know, having a banner year? You know, he just really just woke up, it seems like. And, yeah, I can't wait for that flick.
It feels like he's making up for lost time almost. He's like, all right, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. I will go see the Sound City documentary.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I feel like I have to. I mean, as a journalist, blogger guy, like I have to, right? I feel like I have to.
Certainly. Yeah, and taking it back for my listeners, you always you've been living in like New York City. Where are you out of in New York City? I hear what is it? I hear a little bit of a Bronx accent.
I'm in Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
And but you know, it's I'm one bus to the city, so any show that's going on in Manhattan, like I can get there easily.
Did Sandy rock you pretty bad, or?
Not my house, but I know a lot of people. A lot of people I know got displaced for a little while. It was bad. I mean, I'm surprised that my house, that my electric stayed on, you know, most of the time. I can't really complain. But I know a lot of people like when I'm waiting on tables during the day, like I know a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, it's devastating. I have no house. But the pizza guy at my restaurant, he doesn't have a house.
Oh, geez.
I mean, he might have one now. He might be living somewhere now. But I mean, it's crazy. Congress just passed a bill to get some $50 million or something, million to get some aid down here.
Did you guys feel it in the restaurant? Was it like was it tough on the restaurant?
The restaurant I work at was closed for a week because they didn't have electric and the freezers gave out, so they had to throw out the food. It cost so much. At least $5,000 in food got thrown away.
Oh shit, that sucks.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I own the place. I'm glad I just wait on tables.
Yeah, that's for sure. You got less than stake for it, you know. But how about your first concert experience back? I don't know how old you are, but like, what was your first show you saw?
The first show I didn't start going to concerts till a couple of years ago because I got to tell you, when I was like a teenager, like it just wasn't going to concerts. Just wasn't what my friends did. So I didn't start going to concerts until I started getting into this little blogger music stuff.
Nice.
So a couple of years, in 2008, I believe, when the Stone Temple Pilots came back around.
Okay.
I saw Stone Temple Pilots with Filter and Ashes Divide at PNC Bank Art Center in 2008. And Scott Weiland didn't come out till 10. They were scheduled 9 o'clock. He didn't come out till 10:30.
And
it was good. I enjoyed the set, but everyone was like, Scott O.D., Scott O.D. Like nobody knew what was going on.
He is like skin and bones, that guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust
Dead
that he's sober.
Never had such a strong meaning until today.
Nice. Very awesome. So yeah, how'd you end up meeting up with the guys from Concert Confession?
Well, well, back when MySpace was in order, I used to have a blog, and I used to just write like, you know, angry stuff that got me mad during my day. And then one time I went to a show. And I wrote about my night, but I happened to be at a show, so that was what I wrote about. The next day there was a comment from Justin Watts from Concert Confessions. He lives in Santa Monica, California. He said, "Listen, I got a website, and we got a lot of stuff. We're doing this basically." He's like, "If you want to do this, you can post it on my site." He's like, "And we'll take it from there. You know, if you want people to read your stuff." I said, "Yeah, sure." So then when it was on MySpace, I was posting there, and then I believe. I don't even know when I was introduced to the website. Maybe he was posting it on there for me, like without telling me. But not shortly after beginning 2009, middle 2009, I started really going to Concert Confessions hard, like going to shows, writing reviews, and now it's like I do news stuff. You know, anything I can get up there that people will read, anything where I can put my little opinion.
Sure.
In like Paramore has tour dates, so they won't remember what Paramore was good. No, you know.
Nice.
Stuff like that. I mean,
how many people work with you on the website there?
Well, we got. I want to say under 20. Thing is, it's not really. We don't want to call it work. We don't want to force anyone to do it. It's if you want. If you go to say you go to a contest, if you want to go to a show and you want to write a review, it can only be like the one time. It can be whatever time. You know, you can do that. So I'd say about regular contributors. I would say I don't think more than 20. It's got to be 20 or less.
Gotcha. But there's a lot of people that just give up one review and just try it.
Well, some people they join and they're like, all right, I'm going to a show, and then they go to the show and then they write the review, and then months pass and they're like, they're not going to shows because in these economic times, not everyone can afford to go to shows like once a week or whatever, once every couple of nights. I remember when I first started doing this, I would go to like 3 shows in 1 week, and at the end of the week, I'm like, oh my God, like I can't even this is all the same review.
Yeah, forget buying a drink. That's like $100 without anything else. Yeah, just
forget drinking. You're like you get a T-shirt and that's it. T-shirt, and a cab ride, and that's it.
That's a time when a flask can come in handy or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good though, and obviously you're taking a lot of pictures on the phone and whatnot. It's so easy with the phones nowadays, right?
Yeah, I actually just bought my phone. Actually, is terrible. So like I have a $250 camera. All my pictures are cut from videos.
Oh,
so
I got you.
I'll be taking videos, and then I'll come home and I'll load up and I'll snap whatever pictures I want to snap.
Nice.
Because I always feel like when I'm snapping pictures, always the flash is like on the wrong temperature or whatever,
yeah.
And so then I just let's take the video and I'll chop it up when I get home. It really doesn't take me as long as.
Yeah, I feel like with pictures, you can like miss the opportunity and it'll be gone, and then you get the thing you don't want.
Frame by frame with the video.
That's awesome.
Out the side.
And then if it's a nice video, you can just put the whole thing up. Do a
yeah. Well, if you have a good internet connection, which I don't, you can upload your videos will be uploaded. But me, I still have blow up the outside world uploading for 2 weeks already.
Gotcha.
I got to switch over to Fios, man.
Yeah, that's tough. That's rough when people want it, the next day they're curious and it's still loading.
Yeah, so sometimes like I'll take the Meat Puppets videos and like I'll get the phone and like, do you have any more? I'm like, yeah, but it's going to take like 3 weeks to upload this right now.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, how do you feel about the new Meat Puppets drummer? I got to meet him in Chicago too. He was a super nice guy.
Yeah, Shannon Som. He's cool, man. You know who his father is? His
Yeah,
father is Doug Som from the Texas Tornadoes. That's cool.
Sir Douglas Quintet, right?
Yeah, the Sir Douglas Quintet. All that Tex-Mex stuff that was going on down. My father used to play me those tapes, like in the early '90s. I mean, what is this? And then I just recently asked him about it again. He's like, I told you like that guy.
I'm such a dork. I knew exactly who his dad was because I like the Nuggets box set. Just you can like check that on the internet. It was an old box set I got in like '98. It features all like the psychedelic garage sounds of the 60s that weren't really hits, but they were, influential. And his dad's song was on there. It's called, I think it's called something, She's a Mover or something, but it's a great song. It's kind of like Ray Charles. She's About a Mover. That's what it is. Yeah.
They played that when I saw them in New Jersey in November, not this past November, the November before that, obviously. It would have been Doug Som's 70th birthday.
Oh,
so they had Shannon grabbed the guitar, and Kurt went behind the drums, and they did She's About to Move, and Shannon did the lyrics, did the vocals, and he played the lead.
That's awesome.
Elmo was tearing it up. Elmo's son's in the band now, too. Elmo Kirkwood. Kurt's son.
Oh, was he maybe at the show in Chicago? Because I know they had like a guy playing guitar, too, on the side. Is he kind of a bigger dude?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little bit. He's a little bigger, but he looks like a Kirkwood. You can tell he's a Kirkwood. So
whose son is that, Kurt's or Chris's?
It's Kurt's son. It's Elmo Kirkwood.
Oh, that's awesome. Elmo, huh? I like that.
Elmo, yeah. I think so.
Have you gotten any word of a new recording, a new album on the way?
The album's done.
Is it?
The album is done. It's called Rat Farm.
It's called Rat Farm?
Rat Farm, and it's supposed to be out this spring.
Hell yeah.
That's all I can tell you without getting in trouble. that's all I know.
Really cool.
I haven't gotten to listen to any of the I have a track list, but I'm not gonna start sharing things I don't know that I'm supposed to share, but
yeah, kind of like listening to an album all in one burst. It's good.
Exactly, right. And it's going to be great, and I can't wait to have that album to see them. I'm going to get to see them the April 3rd and April 4th here in New York City.
Do they have more tour dates out, or just are you just privy to that? Or?
They got just the batch that are up on themeatpuppets.com/tour.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love the book from last summer. Love talking to Chris this last summer. How about other concerts that you've seen in like the last year? Did you get to see any of like Dinosaur Jr.'s like reuniting or?
I saw Dinosaur Jr. December 1st. They were doing the 25th anniversary of You're Living All Over Me.
That's the one I wanted to go to. Yeah.
They had Frank Black. They had Lee Ronaldo, Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth. They had Dale Crover from the Melvins. Johnny Marr played guitar in a couple of songs.
It's ridiculous.
Kurt Vile. It was so crazy, man. It was like it was never ending of guests, you know? Every song was a guest. It was so great, man. I'll see Dinosaur Jr. every time they come around. I love them.
Do you ever watch the show Portlandia?
Yeah.
He was on there.
I just watched them on. Yeah, so funny, man. That Portlandia show is good. I like that show.
Yeah, and it's definitely true to the Portland spirit. I actually have a cousin out there, and I went to visit, and it's very on point with their whole lifestyle, pretty much.
I just saw a Simpsons episode where where people from Portland moved to Springfield, and it was voiced by Fred Armisen and the other chick.
Really?
So, yeah, they were like making Springfield cool and stuff, like organic.
Yeah, they're banning plastic bags and stuff. Yeah,
it's all.
It's pretty damn good.
Springfield cool, and then like they're like, no, it's lame. And they all left.
Yeah, actually, I just Are you a fan of the Replacements? I just saw a movie about them called Color Me Obsessed. Do you have much knowledge about the Replacements?
I'm a fan of the Replacements. I know that that just came out, right?
Yeah, actually, I saw it on YouTube, and I was thinking, oh, they're going to charge you like $3 or something, but it was free. It's just streaming on YouTube right now, and it's worth the watch for sure.
Well, I got something to do for the next 2 hours of my day then.
Yeah, it was like they don't ever interview any member of the band. They don't ever even, I don't think they even ever play any music of theirs. But it's just all interviews, secondhand. But it's done well though. It's actually done really well. They got to speak to Steve Albini, a really cool producer guy from out here in Chicago, and other weird people like Tom Arnold and the drummer from Tom Arnold. I guess lived up in Minneapolis at the time. Was a fan of those punk clubs and stuff. And the drummer from Husker Du, Grant Hart.
Grant Hart, wow, yeah, okay.
He doesn't look good, by the way. He looks like he's either on heroin or just starving himself. He's skin and bones, and he's just ashy looking. Like I think that might be the reason why, Bob doesn't want to reunite or jam with him anymore. I never got a reason. I read Bob's book. Yeah, I read Bob's book, but they never really said why they didn't want to get back together. But looking at him, I don't know, maybe if he's in good enough health to even tour or anything like that.
Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you don't want to get back together with that guy.
Yeah, maybe not. He might be trying to steal your money or something in the hotel or something. But yeah, so that movie's pretty cool. It's called Color Me Obsessed, and I got to speak to Peter Jesperson, the original manager, or like the road manager and producer for the Replacements. He had a lot of good stories. Just, I guess they were pretty punk, without being, the normal skinhead, punk look of the 80s. They were still punk. Bob Stinson, the guitar player, once dragged out a garbage can and played his guitar while standing in the garbage can, and then knocked it over during his solo for a song. So yeah, they definitely have the punk merits.
The Replacements are like, oh man, they're like out of that. I don't want to say like REM, but it's like that sort of where it's punky, but it's not like it's not like stereotypical punk. Like they go further with the songs, but they do have a sense where they do what they want.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's DIY. It's same thing with like early Soul Asylum. Like I got some of their stuff on Twin Tone, which was the Replacements and Husker Du and them. And yeah, they were pretty punk back in the day. The Soul Asylum stuff, like their whole album was like 22 minutes, just flying by. And
they weren't Runaway Train.
Yeah, after Runaway Train, he kind of ran away from that sound pretty much. But I mean, you get older, I guess you don't want to just bash out the jams real quickly.
Yeah.
But so like, what's next coming in like the new year for like both your site and I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. What's next?
Well, Well, this year is basically, what I want to do is just hit as many shows as possible, get as many people to know about ConcertConfessions.com, and remind as many people as I have to that the Meat Puppets exist, and they're touring, and that they will go melt your face off. That's basically what, because basically, I see these music websites, and it gets me so mad that these sites, you can tell who their favorite band is. Like, I just want to be sort of like biased. Sort of like, for the fans. This is something that, if a fan does, they comment, oh, I don't like what you're saying, then come write it then.
Nice.
Please, come write it. Come join us. You be the troll, man. Don't.
How about this? Like Pitchfork.com. Do you read that? I find myself reading it a lot, but at the same point, I don't really like.
They invent things. They invent their little they pull out a little band. And they pretend that they garage, and they pretend that they're down to earth, and yada yada yada. And the next thing you know, Pitchfork's hipster band of the year. It's like, dude, they have to be vegan to do this?
Yeah. Do you have to be a vegan, like albino in a garage?
In a loft and shares a house with 9 other people and lives off 3 cans of ramen noodles a week. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know why it has to be a struggle. Can I have a cheeseburger?
Yeah, can we hear about some of these? Yeah, some of the good bands. Yeah, please. Like, do I have to hear about? I don't know, just all these like the local natives or something.
In Williamsburg, and there's a whole bunch of there's like 20 bikes chained up to the subway station. Like, dude, you were just on a filthy subway, inhaling dirt from burrows at a time, but you got to ride your bike.
But that one block to ride your bike, that's gonna save the world. Yeah.
Yeah, please. They go dumpster diving. They go in dumpsters after when like a deli throws out like vegetables and stuff. They take it and they're like, We're gonna have a party with this. What?
They're probably waiting at the cooler when you guys were dumping after the cooler froze.
They're like, oh, throw it all out. Are you eating garbage right now? I mean,
scrape off the mold.
Garbage.
Speaking about garbage, are you a fan of Shirley Manson? I got to see her and the guy from Revolting Cocks and Ministry do a whole Bowie cover set at the Metro about 3 weeks ago. She was looking really good.
She is looking good. She looks as good as she did in '96, I think.
I'd say so.
I saw her with the Princess Leia hairstyle going. I'm not really a fan of that, but let the hair down. That she'll be fun. They streamed a concert I think it was over the summer at Webster Hall here in New York, and I watched it, and it was I was really impressed. Butch Vig was kicking it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I heard that Butch Vig doesn't join him on all the shows. I'd be really pissed if Butch Vig wasn't drumming at the show that I paid a $30 ticket for.
The show I watched them stream from Webster Hall in New York that Butch Vig was drumming, because I kept looking at him and I kept thinking about him breaking down Kurt Cobain's guitar sound on the Nevermind classic album.
That's a great one, yeah.
All I kept thinking of is like, watch this guitar bend a little bit. Like, I just keep thinking of that one part. Very mercurial guy, and he's over there drumming.
I love how he's a Wisconsin guy too. Smart Studios is up in Wisconsin, and Weird Bands recorded there before they closed that in like 5 years ago. I didn't know Everclear's, their one classic album, Sparkle and Fade, that was recorded at Smart Studios, not by Butch Vig, but Butch Vig was there during the sessions, I guess. So,
wow, I didn't know that.
I had no clue. Like I did an interview with Art, and I did the whole thing, and then I'm looking through the liner notes. I said, "Damn, I could have spoke for 5 minutes about Smart Studios." It's right by it's right by a highway, I guess, like an interstate, and a truck sped off it and lost its control during a storm or something and went right through the front of the studio. And Butch Vig felt there was a sign and just closed the doors like the next week or something. There was so much damage too, but he just felt like it was time to move on. Not that studios are getting, people aren't paying for studios as much, obviously, as they're doing home studio stuff. So it's probably part of the business, part of just a bad omen getting slammed by a truck,
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Butch recorded a new album there, thinking that the sound with the wall cut open would be more organic.
That would be pretty intense, yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I love, Vig is pretty intense. He's really cool. I thought he kind of salvaged, like, the Foo Fighters were going in the wrong direction, for me at least. And then Wasting Light came out, and all of a sudden I had an album I could mow the lawn to, and I did every lawn mowing for the whole summer of last year. And I judge a good album by that, you know.
Yeah, that's how, I mean, a lot of the Foo Fighters stuff I listen to, and I'm like, all right, this is like, all right, I've heard it enough. Like, I don't need to listen. But yeah, that stuff with Vig is actually really good.
Yeah, and then you go back to their first album, and it's like that is what they need to do. That the first album was so strong, you could tell Grohl was in a weird mind space, and it just there's a lot of good sounds on that first album, and it still holds. It's still one of the best of the '90s for me.
I think it is. I think that's actually probably one of their better albums. Still, that first album.
I would definitely say so. Yeah. MTV kind of burned them out a little bit. You know? Yeah. But yeah, I've only got a couple more things here. How about like what's like your favorite venue in New York City to go to?
My favorite venue in New York City to go to has to be Terminal 5. It's on West 57th between 11th and 12th. I think it's over there in the Hell's Kitchen area. It used to be like this club, like this disco club. So
Right.
they have like a floor section. They have two floors above, and the floors like wrap around. So it's like a balcony, and you can sort of look over. There's a lot of, you can really get in there early, or you can get in there late, and you can still find a good spot. And the sound isn't really that bad. Like, you always have a sight line to see the stage. I can't stand when you get into a place late, and you're in the back of the room, and all of a sudden, everyone's the basketball team in front of you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we do size order at concerts? Does anyone not want to do this with me? Come on.
I like that, yeah.
I want to be able to see. If everybody can see, there'll be no problem. Then
Tall guys in the back.
Like exactly. Tall guys up against the wall, short guys in the back, and we'll figure it out in the middle.
Except the tall guys are usually more intense, and they will push their way to the front and be more intimidating. That's probably the deal. Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody's a metalhead.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm working at 5'11", so I'm kind of right in the middle there. So. But yeah, have you ever made it out to Chicago?
I haven't, no, but I want to. I want to go check out a Local H hometown show.
Oh yeah, I saw Local H last fall. It was not in the right venue. It was in like a plush hotel lounge, like the basement of a hotel lounge, kind of. Not the greatest place. But the Metro. If you're ever going to go to a show in Chicago, try to go see the Metro. It's been 30 years now, and it's just like, you know, this one guy owns and operates the whole thing. I saw my first show. I've seen like probably 30 shows there. It's got a lot of history. As you were talking about REM, the guy was almost about to shut the doors down, and he said, I want to try out one more band, see if we can fill this place. And it was REM in '83, like their first album.
Wow.
And yeah, that show sold out, and it made them, you know, get another few groups, and he's doing great 30 years later now. So
wow, lucky him. Good for him. I like to hear success stories. It's not like Live Nation came and bought it, you know, and turned it into something else. Like, it's good to see like a grassroots kind of guy holding on to his place, you know?
Yeah, and then he's nurtured every Chicago band, you know, up through Smashing Pumpkins, Filter, all that stuff, you know, Jesus Lizard and all that good stuff. All those cool sounds of the 90s, he kind of took them under his wing, and yeah, he's doing great now and still still standing, even though it's a pretty tough economy out there. And it's good to hear a success story like that. Yeah, I think that's about it for us today. If my listeners want to check out Jay Porks, where are they going to go?
They can go to concertconfessions.com. They can go to jporks.com. They can get me on Twitter at jporks. They can check out themeatpuppets.com.
That's awesome. All right, yeah, and so we got obviously a lot more shows coming down the pipeline this year. Just stay tuned.
I'm going to try to get into Bad Religion Against Me. I'm going to try to get into Alice in Chains in Camden.
Yeah, get a upskirt shot Against Me for. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Oh.
It took a while. All right,
soon?
I'll be here all week.
Too soon. I don't know if it's too soon. I'm not going to be the one to make the joke.
I'm just hoping he's wearing jeans, or he or she is wearing jeans. All right. Yeah, that about does it. On behalf of Jay Porks, this is Andy Dare signing off for the Andy Darer Show. Be sure to follow Andy on Twitter. That's at Andy Dare, ANDYDERER, and like our show on Facebook. That's facebook.com/The Andy Dare Show. Videos at youtube.com/Andrew Martin Dare, and it all leads back to the AndyDareShow.com. Support our show by supporting our sponsors: Uncle Bub's award-winning barbecue, Secondhand Mall, The Mandrate, and Amazon.com. Thank you so much for listening.